All right, getting serious here. Hashtag rationalizing. This is how it goes. This is another book. I was watching somebody's video. This is by Mindy McGinnis. I need to write this stuff down. Okay, still going. That's it. Like, that's it. We're done. We're done. This is it. It's over. It's over. It's over. Hi everyone, it's Audrey and welcome back to Chapter and Converse. So today we are sitting on the floor because I am not messing around because it is my book outlet haul unboxing, sort of. So I will admit I started to open the box and then I thought, well, why don't we go through it together in all its horrifying glory. This thing weighs a ton. Because I don't wholly remember what I bought, and I do remember not knowing a lot about all of the books that I bought. So this is why it's a box of shame. So Book Outlet did their spring sale, which was like one of those, the more you spend, the more you save. I had some things on my wish list that were still in stock. I started to add some things in, and you get to that point where you're sort of you're just about to make the first threshold and then you put something in. And then it was like, well, if I spend a little more to make the second threshold, kind of everything I put in since then sort of becomes free. And yeah, so that happened. And I know I did a library book sale haul pretty recently that I showed you guys. And what I will say is that the Book Outlet sale happened before the library sale. I also had super low expectations for the library sale because I've never done that well at it before. So if they had been in reverse order, I would like to tell you that I would not have gone this hog wild. But I did, and here we are. So let's just do it together and see what happens. So I'm not even sure how many books I got, but just get this loud, annoying stuff out of the way. Okay, so these are obviously going to be in no particular order, and like I said, I don't remember a lot about a lot of them, so hopefully it'll all be good. And the first book I see, I have absolutely no memory of at all. So this is Alison Leota, A Good Killing, author of The Last Good Girl. Oh, this probably was part of my plug. Leota is one of the very best crime writers today by Linda Fairstein. So I love her. That's a great plug. Best of summer books. So how far would you go to save your sister? And thriller. We've got a prosecutor back in her hometown in Detroit, called off her wedding. Her sister has been wrongfully accused of murder after their old high school coach, a local hero, dies in a suspicious car crash. So it sounds like vigilante justice, bonds of sisterhood, price of truth, spellbinding until the shocking end. These are all things that I absolutely love. So here's a risk. Here's an author I've never heard of before, but it definitely sounds like something that is in my sweet spot, and I'm sure that's why I picked it up. Okay, the second book, and I'm just going to dodge all over this box here, is Rush by Lisa Patton. And this is a book that I have kind of had my eye on before. And it's everything you think it is. It's a sorority story. It's fiction, but it's a sorority story. And I read Pretty Lovely something. It's awful. I don't even remember the name of it. A couple months ago. I got it last year at Thriller Fest, and it was about a murder of a sorority sister. I talked about this already. I was in a sorority. I'm sort of fascinated by all of sort of that life still, and you throw in a murder and I'm even more fascinated by it. And unfortunately that book kind of let me down, and I didn't love it as much as I wanted. One of the sisters was murdered, other sisters were suspects. It just didn't do it for me. And this is a book that I had seen come up, I feel like in a couple different places, and has just sort of had it on my list. So when it showed up here, I was like, well, this is the time to get it. And it's set in modern day Oxford. It's at Ole Miss. It says Rush is a story about women from both ends of the social ladder finding their voices, courage, and empowerment. So I don't think this is a mystery per se. I think this is more just sort of contemporary women's fiction, sort of about, I think, what all happens when you go through Rush and the sisters, and sort of, I think, the good, the bad, and the ugly is kind of my sense of it all, which is part of what I love about it. So it says, exploring the complex, intimate relationships between mothers and daughters and female friends. So I'm down for this. Like I said, not a mystery, but I'm still semi-fascinated about the Greek life. So I'm down for this. But here's one. Oh man, I hate when they get bent in the box. The Lies We Told by Camilla Way. This is a book I've heard a lot about on BookTube from different people. Camilla Way is someone I've heard a lot about. And she wrote, I want to say she wrote Watching Edie, which I got in a previous haul, which I haven't read. But this one wasn't available at the time. So yes, highly acclaimed author of Watching Edie. Perhaps like unboxing is not the best way for me to do things because I don't know what I'm looking at here. So this is dark psychological suspense that explores that the closest to us have the most to hide. A daughter, a son, a life built on lies. I don't remember, like I said, where I heard about this. It might be Heather from Bookables. I feel like she's someone who I get a lot of recommendations from, but either way, I've heard a lot of great things about this one. Psychological thriller. I'm down for the ride, and yeah, that's obviously why I picked up this one. I actually bought multiple books by the same author. So the next two I got are by Alex Marwood. So I got The Darkest Secret and I got The Killer Next Door. Now, she wrote The Wicked Girls, which I bought last year on a whim from a book outlet haul. I also haven't read it yet. But she's an Edgar winner. Stephen King plugs her books. It's just, again, it's just sort of these, sounds like kind of like dark thrillers. This one is around a neighborhood. 6 residents mostly keep to themselves, but one unbearably hot summer night, a terrible accident pushes them into an uneasy alliance. What they don't know is that one of them is a killer. Love that. And then the other one, The Darkest Secret, is, well, it says it's her best book yet, so let's find out. What really happens behind closed doors. 12 years ago, Mila Jackson's 3-year-old half-sister Coco disappeared during their father's 50th birthday party. Her identical twin Ruby was left behind as the only witness. Their father was wealthy and influential, as were the friends gathered at their seaside vacation home for the weekend's debauchery. The case ignited a media frenzy and forever changed the lives of everyone involved. Now Sean Jackson is dead, and the people who were present that terrible night must gather once more for a funeral that will reveal the secrets of the past. That the secrets of the past can never stay hidden. Love it. It also gets plugs from Megan Abbott, who's great, Allison Galen, who's someone I've talked about, Psychological Acuity of Kate Atkinson. I really need to read. I think they're all standalones. I'll just double check that before I dive into one of them. I definitely need to dive into one because A, I bought 3 of her books and I haven't read any of them yet, and B, they sound really good. So stay tuned because something Alex Marwood is going to get read in the near future. All right, let's see what's next. Next up, The Female of the Species by Mindy McGinnis. And this is a book that somebody recommended on their channel, and it might have been Chelsea from Chelsea Darling Reads. I will try and figure out where I found this stuff and include it in the description box below. But I feel like she said, whoever it was, but I feel like it was Chelsea, that it was like one of her favorite books of all time. And this is a YA book. It's a mystery. So it says Alex Kraft knows how to kill someone and she doesn't feel bad about it. So her sister was murdered. The killer walked free. We are here in senior year. She's on a collision course with some other teens. Another Edgar Award winning author, which I love. I feel like I saw some stuff just kind of relating it to, YA. Okay, it says this is Kill Bill in high school, but with more nuanced, bolder choices and a true female perspective. So this just sounds really good. I'm down for it. I'm in. I trust recommendations. Again, I really feel like it was Chelsea, and if it's not, I'm giving her credit for it anyway. But I had this on my list, saw it, got it, here we are, and we're going to read it. Okay, next up, no, I know for sure this came from Kayla at Books and Lala, and it's 4-Letter Word by Krista Desier, or Desire. Desir? Here it is. And it says 8 friends, 1 game, a dozen regrets. So this is another YA one. I feel like you find that a lot on Book Outlet. I will say that Kayla is someone who is not a fan of YA thrillers. She's super critical about them. They have to be like really amazing. There's got to be some really good stuff going on in it. So when she talks about a book and says that she likes it, to me that means something. So Chloe Sanders is ready for a change. I don't even know. Again, 8 friends, 1 game, a dozen regrets. It sounds like an interesting one. It sounds like fun. A little bit out of my element again, but Kayla is someone whose recommendations I wholly trust, and I picked this off her list from Book Outlet. So here we go. Here's another one. This is another one that I've had on my list that I feel like people say you have to read. It's called This Adventure Ends by Emma Mills. And I want to say I saw this during maybe the Contemporary-a-thon Drunk Live show with Chelsea and Mel and is it Lisa from Pages and Pens? I want to say this came up as like somebody had asked a question of like a book recommendation, and this is one of the ones that came up. And this was like less than $3 on Book Outlet before the whole sale, so I could not get it. So again, I think this is another YA one, which again, I felt like this is like a little bit YA heavy at this stage, but that's fine. It's totally fine. Every adventure ends, but here's where one begins. Sloane isn't expecting to fall in love with a group of friends when she moves from New York to Florida, especially not a group of friends so intense, so layered, with private tragedies and secret codes, so all-consuming, yet that's exactly what happened. And it will lead her and her dad on a life-changing adventure. Heartfelt, funny, and true, Emma Mills' second novel is unforgettable. So maybe some coming of age, friendship, fandom, art, love, finding the people you never knew you needed. So this sounds like it's going to kind of appeal to sort of the more chicklet side of me, maybe. Have done my rereads, like I was reading Frenemies, kind of there's some other books in that vein that I really enjoyed. So I am enjoying kind of going outside my thriller realm, like I've talked about. Sometimes you need a palate cleanser, sometimes you need a tearjerker, sometimes you need something that just sort of takes you a little bit back. And I get the feeling that that's what this is going to be. So another one where I did the 2-author buy, and this is, I realize, moderately ridiculous, but I did it. So I talked about in my catch-up video how I'm finally breaking into J.K. Rowling territory. And I bought The Cuckoo's Calling from Amazon, and then on here I saw the next 2 books in the series. So Career of Evil, which I think is the second one, and then The Silkworm, which I think is the third one. And part of why I got them is because they were $5. Part of why I got them is because they match the one that I have. So I have completely unfounded expectations that I'm gonna love these books and want the series and want to have all of them. But again, it was like $5, so it was hard to say no to it. I am in an inexplainable J.K. Rowling obsession, even though I have read absolutely nothing by her. But I bought them. These are the next 2 books, like I say, in the series, the Cormoran Strike series, or Cormoran Strike series. So I don't know anything about either of them other than they are just the next 2 books in the series. So there they were, and now here they are. We have Daisy in Chains by Sharon Bolton. And this is a book that has also been on my list. And again, this might be another Books and Lala recommendation. I'm not wholly sure. I need to write that down. But I've had this on my check it out list. This is thriller Dark and Twisted Tide. Oh, that's the name of a different book. I thought it was describing this one. Stupid. Okay. Anyway, Daisy in Chains. So I think she's a defense attorney. Yes, I remember what this one's about. So there's a convicted serial killer. I think he's on death row, but he's always stuck to his story that he is innocent, and he wants someone to investigate and clear his name. So Maggie Rose is the notorious defense attorney, true crime writer. They pair up, and it sounds like she just can't resist him. So I don't know if his name is Hamish. I don't know if he's Hannibal Lecter-y, and it's sort of that kind of fascination, or if he's like this charming, says he's handsome and popular. So Master of Suspense, it sounds really interesting. I love this kind of, I swear I'm innocent. It sounds like he sucks her into his web, so I don't know if he's innocent or not. But she gets pulled into it, and I'm going to get pulled into it, and I love this cover. I think this is beautiful. So I'm excited. I've never read anything by Sharon Bolton before, but I'm excited for something new. Okay, a few more to go. Ooh, yes, this is one I couldn't remember the name of before. So Sherry Lapina, An Unwanted Guest. She wrote The Couple Next Door, which is a book that I read and I enjoyed. Thriller, psychological thriller, domestic thriller, probably more domestic thriller. But I really enjoyed it. There were, some good twists. I enjoyed the writing. I liked the characters, a lot of darkness. I seem to be in this zone of like married couple, although in all fairness, I read this last year, but, married couples who do bad things, kind of messed up marriages. There's sort of been a theme in some of the books that I've read lately. Not that that's what this is, but I liked her first book. And I've heard good things about this one. So a weekend retreat at a cozy mountain lodge is supposed to be the perfect getaway, but when the storm hits, no one's getting away. So they are in the Catskills, there's a blizzard. This probably would have been a good book in wintertime. They're snowed in. It sounds very like locked room Agatha Christie-ish. Yep, and someone is picking off the guests one by one. So it sounds like... why can't I think of that Agatha Christie? Three Blind Mice. Sounds very similar to Three Blind Mice. So, yeah. Murder. Locked in a cabin. Locked in the Catskills. We used to vacation in the Catskills, very Dirty Dancing style. Except the whole Patrick Swayze part of it. But, yeah, this is fun. This is fun. I think this is going to be a good one. I'm excited. Another Alison Leota, who apparently is someone I thought... Please tell me I didn't buy the same book twice. No. Oh, my God. I don't know. I guess I thought that she was going to be great. So so it says, for readers who appreciate the works of Lisa Scottolini, Linda Fairstein, and Gillian Flynn. Yes, yes, and yes. So The Last Good Girl, it was her word against his until she disappeared. So she's a freshman at Michigan. Emily is missing. We've got a suspect who is the son of one of the most powerful politicians. Oh, so this is a series. So the prosecutor in this one is the same prosecutor from the first book. Lots of media attention, activists, physical evidence. People are telling her to stop, telling the prosecutor to stop before she ruins the name of a good boy. Spellbinding, timely thriller will stay with you long after the final chapter. Crime writing, love it. Totally down. Need to figure out which book comes first. Also need to figure out if there's more than just these two books in the series, but I'm down for getting involved with series characters. I love following characters through books, watching them develop, kind of getting to know their entire network of people, getting to know sort of a whole cast of characters. And I haven't really delved into a series, like a new series, in a long time. So I'm excited. Hopefully I will love these and have a new one to be a fan of. Okay, so there's two left, and I'm not sure which one I want to go to first. I guess we'll do this one. So I got Kate Atkinson's Case Histories, and this is not a surprise. I had mentioned it in another video. I've never read Kate Atkinson before, but when I did the Choose a Year book tag, I picked 2004, and Kate Atkinson's, or Case Histories is one of the books that had come out that year. And she's an author I've heard about. In my library haul, I wound up actually getting Life After Life. But this is mystery, so it's kind of like with the J.K. Rowling Cuckoo's Calling, like it's one of her mystery books. And I know this was also made into a TV show. I think maybe on, I don't know if it's BBC did it, but I know that there's a TV show about it also, which I'm not going to watch. I'm going to read this first. I'm also super annoyed the cover's bent. That's really annoying. I wish people could pack their books better. Anyway, Stephen King on the front says, not just the best novel I've read this year, but the best mystery of the decade. I defy any reader not to feel a combination of delight and amazement. So I believe this is the first in a series. I don't know too much about it. I don't care that I don't know too much about it. I'm excited to read her. I've heard wonderful things just about Kate Atkinson as a writer, and I've heard wonderful things about this book. So I'm excited to finally get into her and get into the book. And the last book that I got is Lying in Wait by Liz Nugent. And this, I picked up Unraveling Oliver by Liz Nugent, and I haven't read it yet, but I've heard great things about it. But this is another April recommendation, and this is about, here we go with the twisted married couple again. They, I guess, murder this woman and bury her in the backyard. Logical, right? So I don't know what much happens after that, and I don't really need to know. And again, see, every time I look at these books, more positive reinforcement. A Marian Keyes plug. You guys know I love her. A tense, taut, almost gothic thriller impossible to stop reading. My husband did not mean to kill Annie Doyle, but the lying tramp deserved it. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. So, again, big fan of April's recommendations. Excited for this, another thriller, another messed up married couple doing messed up things. So I am down for this one, 100%. I'm happy to have found it. Beautiful cover. Love a hardcover for a bargain price. Almost makes up for the fact that Case Histories is a little bit dinged. But yes, so this is my final book. Okay, so that's legit, officially it. We've got nothing left. Not that I need another book, because I counted, and that is 15 books, which is probably 14 too many, but we did it, and they're here, and I am good for a while. I am definitely good for a while. This should fulfill my knee-jerk reaction of needing to buy things to cope with other things in life, but it's just, dang sales get me every time. But I feel good about it. I'm excited. There's definitely a couple wild cards in there, but I'm hoping to fall in love with a new series. I'm excited. Like I say, Case Histories has been on my list. I'm just so positive that I'm going to love J.K. Rowling. I mean, everybody loves her. How can I not love her? And some beautiful covers. I'm going to stop rationalizing this. It's happened. They're here. I'm not even going to apologize for it in the sense that, like, I've done it. So there are worse things I could do to cope with the hard days in life. But thank you guys for watching today. Thanks for sticking through this. I know this one was like a little bit jumbled because I didn't know a lot about the books, but I would love to know if you guys know anything about these books, or if there's any that you've read that you think should definitely kind of be top of the list. And I'm definitely going to pick one to read this month, because I need to, you buy them, I need to start reading them rather than just filing them away on the shelf. And yes, I will keep you posted on what I read and what I think of it, of course. So thank you guys again for hanging out today and for watching, and I will see you in my next one. Bye, guys.